you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, good. The co-host is ready today, so we don't have to worry about me screwing everything up because Peyton's going to take over if I screw everything up, right?
Yeah.
Sure? Yeah, sure, exactly. Good morning, Muscatine. It is Thursday, July 27th, and in case you didn't notice, it's hot outside. Make sure you've got your windows covered and, dehumidifiers running to take that pressure off your air conditioner. Go clean it off if you need to. But remember, don't spray the hose directly in. Tim Kelly will thank you. This morning, I have a really cool guest. I have reigning Little Miss Iowa, Payton Yocum, right? Did I get the title right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So, you got to go to a pageant about a month ago?
Yeah.
But you really didn't have to go anywhere, did you? Where was it?
It was at the high school, I think. I don't remember.
Was it at Central, at the
Yeah.
Performing Arts Center? Uh-huh.
And we did it all there in Muscatine.
Awesome. So, the Little Miss Iowa pageant, how did you end up getting started doing pageants?
Because I won the Little Miss Princess, and then my dance teacher, she told me and my friend to do the Little Miss Iowa pageant.
Well, who's your dance teacher?
Miss Kara.
Miss Kara, okay. And where do you take dance at?
River City All-Stars in the mall.
Awesome. What do you like most about that?
Doing like my solo and doing tricks and doing fun dances.
Awesome. Okay, so you got to be a part of the competition. Do you remember like how many other girls there were, roughly?
I think there were like 13-ish.
Okay, so quite a few, huh?
Yeah.
And so what all did you do during the pageant?
Well, I made some new friends, and
That's probably the best thing, right?
yeah. And I got to hang out with my brother's girlfriend.
Did you actually do any talents or pageant stuff?
Yeah. I
okay.
did my solo, and then we did like a fast walk and a slow walk. And then we did like on-stage question, and we did an interview in another place.
Oh, yeah? Do you remember what the on-stage question was?
I think it was, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, an artist because I like to draw. And my favorite things to draw are eyes, people, and animals. I like to draw people because in 3rd grade I drew my whole class. And I like to draw animals because every year I have a lemonade stand and all the money I raise goes to the Humane Society. And I like to draw eyes because they have lots of detail.
Nice. You should hook up with the Loconsole family because they do a lemonade stand. Have you ever seen it? They do one for the domestic violence shelter. There's a couple weeks ago. When do you do yours? Did you do it this summer already?
Yeah.
Awesome. You know what? Next summer when you do it, you'll have to let us know. Maybe we'll come out and put it on the news or something. How's that sound?
Good.
Good? Okay. So when they do you do all the interviews and all that, right? Were you nervous?
Yeah, a little bit because I wasn't that good at it. But now, since I've practiced a lot, I got the interview award.
You did. I can tell. You seem really comfortable even if you're nervous. Are you nervous right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Is it? It's not that bad. No. Okay. So when you get crowned, do they do the whole thing where like they do like second place and then there's like when they announce the winner you don't know if you're gonna get like first or third or something?
So
or how did that work?
They go, so they do 5th and then 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and then first runner-up, and then they say the winner. And my mom was a little bit nervous because my friend, Soraya, she always sometimes beat me, and this time I won.
Nice. So what did it feel like when you won? Were you surprised?
Yeah, and I was super excited.
Did you like do a cartwheel or anything?
No, because I was wearing a dress.
Oh, good point. You can obviously tell I'm not a young girl because I didn't think of that. Wow. So, Oh boy. So after the pageant, did you like go celebrate?
Yeah, we went to the dough place, but I don't know what it's called.
The Dell place?
Yeah, Salvatore's.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. So now that you're Little Miss Iowa, do you get to do some cool stuff?
Yeah, I get to do fun activities and volunteer for lots of things.
Did I see you out at the fair last week?
Maybe.
Maybe. You were out there, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. So, do you know if there's like, you had talked about doing a little work with the Humane Society. What were you talking about there? What are you going to do?
So, since I won some of the money that I won, I'm gonna go to the Humane Society, and I'm gonna like see a cat and a dog that's been there the longest, and pay for it, so somebody can own an animal, and so it's free and stuff.
And why do you want to do the ones that have been there the longest?
Because sometimes people don't want like a really old dog or cat, because they want like kittens or like puppies.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. So that's awesome. And thank you for doing that. I know the Humane Society will appreciate it. And I know someone who will be able to get a new dog or cat because you did it will be really appreciative too. So what's Pate's Pets? I know we didn't talk about this one before. I forgot to mention it. But what's that?
So I have a lot of pets, and my name is Payton, but my dad sometimes calls me Pate, so we put Pate and Pets together.
Right.
Pate's Pets. And I have 6 cats, 2 dogs, and 3 guinea pigs.
Yep.
So.
And so that's kind of like the lemonade stand, the bracelets, all that stuff. That's part of also how you raise money to help support the Humane Society, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So, what else do you know? Is there any other cool stuff that you think you're going to get to do this year as Little Miss Iowa?
Not that I know of.
We just talked about one. You get to be at Jingle and Mingle, right? The
Oh,
holiday
yeah,
stroll?
yeah.
Like, we just booked her for that like 3 minutes ago. I don't think she would. So, what do you think if there's a young girl watching right now and you think it'd be cool for them to get in pageants? What's like one thing you'd like them to know? Or that you wish you would have known? Like how fun it is or something like that?
When you do an interview, don't be scared, because it's not that scary once you like go in there. Just be yourself, and it's 6 minutes, but it feels like 2 minutes.
It does. Did this seem like it went really fast too?
Yeah.
Because guess what? We're like done.
Oh.
That's like everything. That's all the stuff we talked about, isn't it? Is there
Yeah.
anything else cool that we should know? Yeah. I think, seems pretty cool so far. Seems
Yeah.
like you covered all the big stuff, right? Okay. Well, so next year, you'll get to go back to the pageant and hand off your crown, right?
Yep.
You think that'll be cool?
Yeah, because I want to see who the new winner is. But I got to keep like this crown and sash, but like there's going to be another one.
Oh, gotcha. So you can that's nice. I guess I never really thought about that. I guess they just kind of I thought they kept going. Shows what I know, right? There's a whole bunch of stuff about pageants that I apparently don't know, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of stuff about a lot of stuff that I don't know. Well, Payton, thank you for coming in, and congratulations.
Thanks.
And I know you'll do great representing all of Iowa, but Muscatine especially. And we'll see you, if not before, we'll see you at the holiday stroll for sure. Sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming in. And we will be right back with almost just shy of $250,000 worth of grants that went out, and Niki Nienhaus from the Community Foundation will kind of give us an idea of where all it went and all the cool stuff going on. We'll see you in just a minute.
Did we mention quality matters?
Welcome to our Cut Quality Center. Let's take a closer look.
Our mowers provide superior
laser precision cut quality
for a perfectly manicured lawn.
Let's break this down in science terms. This grass is cut good. This grass is cut not as good.
Hustler Turf. Mow like a pro.
Stop in to Muscatine Lawn and Power at 2020 Stewart Road to see Hustler quality for yourself.
It's time for an update from the Not So Late Show with Austin, brought to you by Unity Point Health.
Listen up, everyone. I've got some news. Things are still kind of crazy out there, and the pandemic is still going on. And it's hard to keep people healthy. And right now, things are really tough for healthcare workers. There are a lot of people needing help with their health. They're working very hard. They're tired. And they are working extra shifts. Well, that would be like when you just get right out of school. You have to go back and do it all over again. Ugh. So there's something you need to know. It's time to be kind. Healthcare workers are doing the best they can to help you. They just need your help too. Take care of yourself however you can with your vaccinations and your healthy habits. But if you get sick, go see your doctor. If you have to wait, be patient. Be a patient. They're real people just like you. And do you know why they're working so hard? For you. So show them a little love, or at least a little bit of kindness. That's one way we can all feel better. Okay, that's all I've got, everyone. Stay safe out there and remember to be kind to healthcare workers.
This has been a special update from the Not So Late Show with Austin. Good night. We'll see you next time.
Again, I know I say this often, but if you only knew what was said during commercial breaks, you would laugh your, you know what, off. Sorry. I don't know. I usually don't have that problem. Every once in a while they'll slip out, but that's we'll pretend that just didn't happen. It's a good thing we're on cable, not broadcast. So, so I've got Niki Nienhaus with me here. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. So if you could real quick, for those that don't know you, could you introduce yourself and just a little bit about what you do at the Community Foundation?
Sure. So I'm Niki Nienhaus, and I'm the programs manager at Community Foundation of Greater Muscatine. And most of my job, I would say, is working with students and families and getting them through the scholarship process. And the other piece of my job is working with the granting cycles, building the portals and helping people who are trying to fill it out for the first time especially, and then following up with their grants. And that piece of the job is really fun because I get to see a lot of pictures, hear a lot of stories about the great things that they're doing out in the community.
Yeah, in this grant portal, we've talked about it actually when United Way's been here before, because the United Way uses still that portal, correct?
Yes. So United Way uses the portal, Muscatine Charities uses the portal. So once you have that account created, it makes it very easy to apply for all of the different grants.
And it's, I was last year lucky enough to be part of the United Way granting committees. And so using the system that you guys have provide for the community is great. Because I remember way back when I was at Flickinger, way too many years ago to count, we had to make like 100 copies of things, and like it was nuts for the people requesting a grant. And I can only imagine what it was like for the ones trying to evaluate it all, right? But we got to just log in and like literally like, here's your 6 things. It's all kind of standardized. You get all the stuff right that you need, all the financials, everything. And so you guys have done a great job of making it, and from what I've heard from the program folks, it's a lot easier on their end too. And that's great that you guys have done that and that you provide it for everybody.
So the other thing that's really great about the portal is once you have filled out a grant, let's say for instance, this cycle that just finished, we had the impact grant and the racial justice grant. Some of those questions overlap, and so you can copy and paste over. You can do that for, Muscatine Charities has very similar questions. United Way, sometimes some of theirs are similar, and so you can just import those over and save a lot of time.
Right, because a lot of it is similar, like on the financial side, like how do you do that? Just kind of some administrative-y kinds of things that you don't have to rewrite every time, and even some of the program stuff. So talk to us real quick about, it was like just shy of $250,000 that you guys...
Just over $240,000 in grants.
$250,000 sounds bigger, doesn't it? Which one sounds bigger? Everybody?
I like that better, $250,000.
Just shy, just a skoch here. To 24 different nonprofits. So that's huge because it shows that the community is doing a lot of different things, right?
Yes, huge variety. So we had some granting in course to college programs for aligned impact, child protection, senior resources outreach, Big Brothers Big Sisters, a lot of food pantries, and a big number in the arts. Refurbishing the library in West Liberty.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. West Liberty Public Library, United Way, of course, Vision to Learn. I've got a cheat sheet here in front of me, but the Diversity Center, Pearl City Outreach, food banks, the Y, like it's a very broad group of organizations as well. It's not just like one niche that you guys focus on. It really kind of goes to what programs are out there in the community and what the community needs, right? It's almost like you guys are like right in the thick of figuring out what Muscatine needs and maybe how we should get there, right?
It's fun to be a part of it, that's for sure.
So as you go through these, what are some of the things that like make you smile the most?
Just watching some of the forward-thinking programs like IJAG. As a former teacher, knowing that there are a lot of kids in that junior high school age that are couch surfing in our community, knowing that they think that, a lot of them think that college is out of reach. A program like IJAG will come in and encourage them to get life skills, job skills, help them through, and then they can work with other entities to get them to college, get them into a trade, and just let them know that they're going to make it. They're going to get out there and hopefully stay in our community and do great things.
Well, and one of the neat things about IJAG, because they've been on several times, and I know Mr. Powell, and it does a really great job of like that transition from high school to whatever's next. I remember we had a bunch of the kids on, and this just kind of shows you what sort of program that the Community Foundation's helping support as they do this. They were all on, and they went to a competition, but what some of them thought was the neatest was like they did this exercise where they had to figure out how much money they needed to live, right? Like actually budget it and like figure it out, like, okay, what kind of apartment can I get in Muscatine? How much do I have to make an hour to be able to do this? And those are the kinds of things that some kids learn at home. I mean, some do, some don't. I mean, I even really didn't. Like, it's not like we sat down, my parents, I said, okay, figure this out. You just sort of, and so IJAG does a great job of that. And there's, again, 23 other programs along that line that just had, again, I think 244,875.48 is the official number on the check. Does that sound right?
That sounds right.
That sounds right. Good. Because I'd hate for you to have to. So you can see this on Discover Muscatine, but like they wrote this big old check. Oh, did it?
Flipped.
Oh, whoops. Well, see, this is why everybody anybody that knows me knows that I should never touch an Apple product. That's why. So, because that'd be a really big check. If you had to rewrite that, that'd be a pain. I wouldn't want you to have to do that. So. The granting cycle, there's, what does that look like when you work with the Community Foundation? Like if somebody's out there and they've got like a program that they'd like to get some help and support with, do they just pick up the phone and call you and you kind of walk them through it? Or like what are their first steps?
So they can absolutely pick up the phone and call. I would say that there are people who are seasoned pros who've done it forever that, you know, they just kind of watch, they know, and they do their thing. But we have people who are just trying to do great things in the community, like Laundry Love, Cedar River Haven, Muscatine Legal Services. You know, there's just so many to pick from that we haven't mentioned yet on our list of 24. But anybody can pick up the phone and call. I have had people who it is their first time, maybe their second or third time that they're going to write, and they're really nervous about the technology piece of it. And so we try and make it very easy for them. We can log in as them and walk them through and say, okay, you're going to go 2 inches to the right and find this and click submit. You're going to, you know, maybe they want someone else to review it for them before they submit it. They can call and say, hey, can you send this to, you know, Bob or Jan for me? And then we can just hit a button and make that person a collaborator that can read through it for them, even submit it for them, edit it for them if needed. But, you know, the idea is to not take away time that they could be spending with their clients.
Yep.
And so making it as easy, as quick as possible to submit those items. And then reporting is very easy. 10 months later, you pop on, you say, this is what we did, you submit a couple photos and hit submit. This year, we held the awards granting in the morning. It was just kind of a little pop-in. People could come in, take their picture with the big check. And it was really fun because you got to listen to how they're already planning new collaborations with each other as they were seeing, oh, this is what you got your money for. Oh, this is the grant you wrote. Oh, this is what you did last year. We had photos from the 2022 granting playing in the background on a screen similar to this one. They came in, they had their donuts and coffee, and they just had time to visit with each other about the work that they're doing. And so it was exciting to like see the wheels turning in their heads and thinking of new projects that they could work on together.
It is, and that's one thing that I love about how the Community Foundation works is you guys are, and Charlotte does a great job of creating this culture of you guys are, I don't know what the right way to say this, you're in everything, but not obnoxiously, right? Like that, does that make sense? Like you're around a lot, you're involved in a lot of stuff, and not just necessarily as like, oh, this is a Community Foundation thing, but just you're all involved in the community, right? Like you're all, and so when you see those opportunities, you can help facilitate them, which is kind of the whole point, right? And it's absolutely a culture that has to be nourished, because it would be really easy to just kind of sit there and go, oh, we're going to push a button for this and push a button for this. But, and it would work, but it wouldn't be as good as what you guys are able to pull off. So is there anything else that's big that you would like somebody to know if they didn't know anything about the Community Foundation and the granting cycle, or like what programs are out there? What's the one big thing you'd want them to know?
I would say going to our website, www.givinggreater.org. Lindsay does a great job of keeping that up to date. And so we've got live streams of the 3D housing that are just finishing up. You can go back and watch videos on there. Any of the grants that are coming up, grant cycles, especially if you live in Louisa County and you have a project coming up. Lindsay Cruzy, our Director of Marketing, Affiliate Director for Louisa. The dates are September 1st through 30th, the Endow Iowa Grants for Louisa County. Same thing, you'll go to our portal online. Let's see, all the clinic updates are listed there. Some of our Muscatine Today Show appearances from the past. Yeah.
Woo, made it!
Lots of links to things that have happened in the past and things that are moving forward. So.
And that's the great thing. Like, as you look at their website, like I just popped it up real quick to make sure that nothing had changed since I last looked at it, but they kind of go through like the impact grants, the racial justice grants, and it kind of gives you this nice overview of like, you know, there's like a 1 paragraph quick overview. And then you've got like the granting guidelines and stuff like that. So, you know, if you're out there running a program, you can get a pretty good idea really quickly if this is kind of a lane you should be looking at, right?
So in those guidelines, it also tells you about the scoring. So there aren't any surprises,
Right.
you know. And we're very thankful. We've got all volunteer committees, and those folks put in a lot of time, a lot of thought and effort to their scoring process. And that's the other very cool thing about the portal. If you've ever been on one of our committees, the grant request and the evaluation sit side by side.
Yep.
They can look exactly and go back and forth. And so, but yes, so very thankful for our committees, our volunteer committees, our donors. This over 240,000. What did you say? $250,000.
Just shy of a quarter million. Just shy of a quarter million.
Would not be possible without the funds that are created by individuals and businesses in the surrounding community.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, and $250,000 in most programs, like obviously, so there's 24, just using averages, like say it's a 5 to 10 to whatever. These are like difference-making amounts, right? These aren't like, oh, it's a $500 thing. I mean, it may be, but like, it's not like a throwaway thing in somebody's budget, right? It's not just like, oh, hey, yeah, here's a little, it's for tangible, actionable items that they can tie those dollars to those actions, to those results. And you can kind of, and that's not for from a bad side, like it's not like, oh, did you, but just so that the whole community and everybody are like, hey, yeah, we're doing great here, right?
And they can request for up to $10,000. So it is a nice chunk of money to get something done.
Yeah, so as you look at the next year, so you guys obviously just did a granting cycle, right? What does the time frame for next year look like? Same sort of pattern?
So a couple of ways to stay on top of when the cycle is open. Again, Lindsay updates the site quite frequently. And so we have those listed: United Way, Muscatine Charities, Impact, Racial Justice. And if we don't have the dates yet, it says to be determined. But they tend to stay pretty close to whatever those dates were the year before, so you have an idea. We have a constant contact that goes out, so anyone who has applied in the past, and we're always adding to that list, people call in and ask, did I see this grant or that grant might be open, and we can add to the list and reach out to them. So again, making it easy for them, saving them time. We're reaching out and saying, hey, it's time.
Yep, don't forget.
Versus them having to keep logging in to check. However, I like to direct people to our website to log in and check frequently, because maybe there's something else that has popped up in the way.
Yep.
And then that just leads them to all the cool things that are going on in the community that Lindsay links to our site.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing, as you think about somebody running a program, grants are, like, again, I remember when I wrote the first ones at Flickinger, like, it's weird, right? Because the program so well, it inside and out, and you know how to communicate it in general, right? But when you look at like the screen, you're like, sometimes you just sit there and you're like, well, what do they mean? But like, or how do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, and again, that was, I don't want to say how many years ago that was, but you sit there and you're looking at like, well, what do they want to, like, do they want to know that we're not doing well at this right now and this will help us do well? Or like, and you guys do a great job of being a resource for those things, right? Because the transparency and getting that information does help the grant, because like, it's okay if like you're not doing super great at this right now, but it's something important and this is going to help you do it. That's exactly what they need to know, right?
Yeah, and another important thing to bring up is, it is Greater Muscatine, so that includes West Liberty and Wilton, and so those nonprofits, those schools can be applying for funds and to,
We were actually just talking about that
projects.
yesterday with Shane from Iowa Works and the Veterans Group, and like how when I think of Muscatine, I don't just think of the city of Muscatine. I mean, sometimes I do, but generally, like, I think of like West Liberty, Wilton, you know, during, like, to me, that's all kind of Muscatine, because we're just separated by some farmland. You know what I mean? Like, really, we all go back and forth all the time.
A field or two.
Yeah, a field or two, and maybe a little creek or river or something. But you know, it's still, we're all kind of the same group, which is cool. So, holy cow, that was a lot. So, quick recap: just shy of $250,000 went out. 24 programs. Next year, watch the cycle if you're out there. And I think the big thing to know, if you are somebody who's running a program or something like that, the barrier to getting started with this is super easy. Drop her an email, give her a call, get started. Don't hesitate. Just take that first step, because the first step's always the hardest, right? When you're looking at something new, we talk about that a lot. Just take that first step. Right?
Yes. And we have tutorials for the portal and for the fund portal as well. And, you know, we have people who call and say, hey, I'm not, you know, I'd like somebody to walk me through this the first time. And so it's not uncommon for people to make an appointment to come in and do it either. So just, you know, knowing that we're going to support you if you decide to write. You know, if you've never done it before, don't be afraid to reach out, and, you know, we're here.
It's not that bad. And that's, you know, I should finish up what I was saying about, like, my time. It can feel overwhelming, or it can feel kind of like, but once you get in and do it, it's not that bad. Like, it's, you just kind of type it all out and then edit it, just like you would do anything, right? So it's not that bad at all.
No.
But, Niki, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
It was, and again, we've got, Margaret's got an article out on all of the distributions and all that fun stuff, and of course it's on your website, so you can hop out and see that. And unless there's anything else big you've got, no major announcements, like no like windmill on the top of the new clinic or anything you want to announce?
No, maybe something will come up during RAGBRAI. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. So yeah, don't forget, tonight starts everything, because you've got almost Friday, just basically from like early evening tonight through like Saturday, just go hang out at the riverfront is basically what it works out to. Get some of those cool slap koozies, and just have fun, enjoy being from Muscatine, and enjoy the fact that 16 bazillion people are about to land on us, right? So with that, Muscatine, we will possibly see you tomorrow if Officer Buss and I can get something straightened out. If not, we will see you Monday.